Antarctica may be thousands of many kilometers of the center silent, but events down there can include a considerable impact on the White's mainland's ice pack. Scientists include shown how ice shelves, the float fronts of sea-terminating glaciers, answer to the El Niño event. The heating of tropic east silent seawaters will conduct to a changing in breeze patterns in the Arctic southward. The promotes snow on the shelves, and as well smelting of their undersides. These are competitive processes, of year. One adds massive, one conducted it off. Yet, the net result is a losing, say scientists. The cause? The ice remote of bottom the float slabs has a high thickness rather than the furry new snowing at the shallow. It is else sample of the difficulty researchers' requirement to understand as they try to measuring device how Antarctica will respond to a heating planet. Though lot of the mainland is comparatively statical in its behavior at the time, it is looser ice in the western, particularly in the Amundsen Sea segment, wherever glaciers are dilution and accelerator. They analyzed more than rather than too many decades of Sputnik radar gun measurements of ice shelves. The space vehicle include continually tracked the altitude of the shelves with 1994. One day the scientists had remote the length term adverse tendency. They found a VAR alarm how could be connected to the El Niño/Southern Fluctuation, ENSO. The fluctuation dashingly sees shallow water in the East Tropic silent oscillate among heating pad rather than ordinary facility, El Niño, and radiator rather than ordinary phases, La Nina. ENSO is recognized to include world impact, amending patterns of precipitation events and dry spell, for sample. And in the southern Arctic area, it appears to impact air blood pressure fields. One in special, called to as the Amundsen Sea Cheap, governs both of provincial winds and sea circulating. For an El Niño, the promoting high snow rates on shelves, but it as well pulls more than hot water supply up of the profound that can get by the shelves and molten them. The combination impact leads to a decrease of the shelves. In a big El Niño stage, love the one in 1997/98, the common impact is a losing in altitude of the shelf that can be as big as the continuing, length-term adverse tendency, of about 20 sm per year. How tool for a brief time of period you are addition the two along. And how's key data to put in machine model if you wish to correctly present the dynamic of these system, explainable Dr. Paulo, who has now excited to the U.S. area agent. In La Nina year, the inverse happens, less than snow, but as well less than smelting on the shelves undersides. The plant brief to sluggish the continuing, length-term adverse tendency. Up though we knew how ENSO should influence Antarctica, how it should influence the sea and the ambience about the mainland. But the is the at first period we've detected how alarm on the ice shelves themselves, told Scripps Company author Professor Helen Frickerer. The research shows the importance of continuing Sputnik measurements in Arctic regions. Since down there can be few year among El Niño events, a solitary Sputnik may capture just a pair of occurrences for its operative lifetime. An continuous episode of satellites is thus required to seize the big image. The Europe Area Agent, ESA, has controlled to do the in its radar gun satellites ERS-1, ERS-2, and VISAT and Cryosat, though how may not be the instance for lot much longer as Cryosat is aging and any replace is hardly to be accessible before the medium 2020s. NASA has not made as so as ESA. It has permitted a gap to evolve among its Sputnik laser treatment missions, that do really such observational data to radar gun above the Antarctic and the Arctic. A mainland surveillance paper named The Decennial Examination was brought recent 1 week via the U.S. Domestic Academies of Sciences, Mechanical Engineering and Medical. The authors told it was crucial how a Sputnik ability was kept to action ice height by each Europe or America.